Hi, my name is Willow, and welcome to Lilypad Printing. We are reacting to MoreParz today. His channel will be linked in the description below.
Platypus are weird, but I'm not sure you quite understand just how fucking weird. So, everyone knows the basics. They lay eggs, they sweat milk, and they look like God hit randomizer on the spore creature creator and just called it a day. But you see, mate, that's barely even scratching the surface of weird platypus features. First up, as is the qualifier for any Australian animal, did you know they're venomous? No,
I'm sorry, what? Perry's venomous? No!
I'm not fucking with you, you heard me correctly. Male platypus actually have venomous spurs on their hind legs. These spurs are multi-purpose, acting as defense from predators, as well as a tool for throwing hands with other male platypus during mating season. And while their venom is non-lethal, that doesn't mean that getting stung by them doesn't fucking suck. See,
I mean, yeah. He wouldn't bring it up if it didn't.
platypus venom can cause extreme pain and swelling, and to ensure you remember not to fuck with them again, these effects can last for several months and have no treatment or anti-venom. So if Perry stabs your shit, your only option is to cry about it. Next on the list.
What? There's just... You just gotta deal with... Ow! I feel bad for you humans.
Of offensive capabilities, I shit you not, platypus share the same hunting method as sharks. You see, that big-ass bill isn't just for show, as it contains enough surveillance equipment to make the CIA blush. Possessing the ability to sense changes in pressure in the water, but most importantly, containing electroreceptors that track electrical signals from muscle contractions made by their prey. Meaning that when whatever they're chasing starts quaking in fear, they know about it. And last but not least, as if those things weren't already unbelievable, we recently discovered something new. Platypus are fucking biofluorescent. They glow. If you hit these things with a black light, they go bright fucking green. And the best part of that is, we have no clue why they do it.
What? That makes no sense. I'm trying to figure out a logical reason for that, and I don't... Why does Perry need to glow? Why does the platypus need to glow? I don't get it. Some biologist out there, tell me why, please.
I guess it just means Perry was a biblically accurate platypus, man. I'll give up, man. Who fucking designed this thing? This seal is such a menace that he routinely gets the cops called on him. Introducing our protagonist, Neil the Seal, a 600 kilo absolute unit of a southern elephant seal from my home state of Tasmania in the land down under, who is known for, above all else, being an absolute fucking menace to polite society. But despite his crimes, we all still truly love him. But what are his crimes? Well, see, he seems to just fucking hate traffic cones and road safety in general, has regularly been caught trespassing, and then once he has been caught trespassing, belligerently screaming at locals because they won't give him his fucking fish, and has been known to just block roads by plopping his fat ass down directly in...
So they're mad at Neil for being the seal. Okay. That makes sense.
In the middle of them. However, hands down, the funniest shit he has ever done was just straight stopping this random lady from going to work. I shit you not. This motherfucker crawled out of the ocean, up the beach,
You're joking.
crossed the road, absolutely fucking bodied this woman's poor letterbox, and then proceeded to plant himself directly in front of her fucking car. She was then unable to go to work.
I feel bad for her, but this is too... This is too Australian. This is too funny.
Because this half-ton beefcake was camping her driveway for so damn long. Local news had time to drive out to her house and cover the fucking story. Now, this is a lot of menace for a single seal to cause. But the funniest part of this is, old mate isn't even fully grown. He's like 5 years old. What? If you think he can...
What? That's not... No. He's massive. How much bigger can he get?
Fuck things up now. Wait until he's nearly 2.
Holy shit! That's fucking big! Jesus!
Solid ass tons of blubber, and takes issue with the wall of your house. I do not think that seal damage is covered on my fucking insurance plan, dude.
I don't think so either.
Wombats defend themselves by throwing it back. But to understand how the fuck they actually do it, you're gonna need to learn a little bit about them first. You see, Australia...
Yes. Yes.
is home to 3 species of these bad boys, all of them equally adorable, and very importantly, all being burrowers, meaning they dig out a nice little hole for themselves and the family to live in, because, like the rest of us, they can't afford a fucking house in this economy, man.
Yeah.
They grow to around 1.3 meters in length, but the...
Yeah. Thank God I live in a workshop.
Despite being small, they are built like fucking tanks, weighing in at a chunky ass 35 kilos,
Jesus!
but despite their...
He may be friend-shaped, but he is not friend-sized. That's just massive for the chunky boy.
weight, I shit you not, they have a top speed of 40k an hour.
What?
Now,
What
the
the hell
fact
is that
that
in
they
freedom
can nearly
units?
get booked in a school zone, coupled with them being a tank class marsupial,
Jesus.
forms the start of their defense strategy. So you see, a fun fact about wombat anatomy is they spect all their defense points into their ass. Rather than having fat and muscle, a wombat's cheeks...
I'm sorry. They went with the cheeked up Brazilian strategy. Okay.
are made out of 4 thick plates of fused cartilage, making it extremely solid. And this Kevlar BBL allows for the fucking funniest defense mechanism I have ever seen on an animal. Basically, if a predator tracks down Mr. Wombat to his burrow, it'll stick its head in and start trying to dig him out. In response, the wombat will line his ass up with the tunnel door, chuck the gear shifter into reverse, and fucking floor it backwards up the tunnel into his aggressor, slamming his ass into its head. The impact then squashes the predator between his steel cheeks and the roof of the burrow, straight up crushing its skull like a Mortal Kombat fatality. I cannot make this shit up.
Super violent.
Stepping on this rock could straight up paralyze you.
Oh no.
That's because this isn't actually a rock. That is a stonefish, a species of underwater menace
Keep
native
Lily
to
away from
Australia.
us. Got
And coming as a surprise to absolutely no one, it is also the most venomous fish in the ocean. Because of course it is. As if the fucking snakes and spiders weren't enough, now I can get packed up by a pet rock. But why is this Pokemon reject such a threat to my mental health? Well, you see, stonefish use their special venom for defense. However, unlike most other animals that do this little f***er doesn't have the decency to dress like a neon sign to warn you. No.
Yeah, normally in nature, the more brightly colored the animal, the more venomous. Ignore my hair color.
No. This bastard is a 6th prestige prop hunt veteran, having evolved some of the most impressive camouflage in the animal kingdom to make hunting easy.
I feel like that's
Easier.
cheating.
And once they've set themselves up, they are basically indistinguishable from
no,
Patrick
that's
Starr's
cheat code.
house. Now, this
That's
is a
cheat
fairly
codes.
major problem as they love to live in the shallows on the beach, and that venom we talked about earlier is stored in these 13 giant, highly toxic spines that deliver venom when pressed on. You can probably see where I'm going with this. Considering it's hard enough to spot these things while you're paying attention, if you were, say, on a romantic walk...
Yeah, I'm sorry. Let's go back a little. Yeah, I didn't notice him there until he was
It's hard enough to spot
moved,
these
and I
things while
have
you're
robotic
paying
eyes.
attention. If you were, say, on a romantic walk along the beach with one of the homies, and while distracted by his ethereal beauty, weren't paying too much attention to where you were walking, it would be very easy to place your foot in the wrong spot and step directly onto 13 hypodermic needles, which would then deliver a ginormous dose of neurotoxin straight into your system. Are you
What? Neurotoxin.
thought it was normal
Oh,
venom.
fuck, what does this
No.
shit do?
You see, these things maxed out the toxin skill tree, producing a mixture of 2 neurotoxins that can flatline you by collapsing your heart and lungs in under an hour. And even if you survive, the sting still causes
Ow.
extreme pain, swelling, and tissue necrosis. Because this is Australia, where even the scenery is trying to one-shot me.
Okay, so from what I've learned today, don't go to Australia so far. Just don't. Not worth it.
This bird
Let's
can
continue.
straight hit you with a Mortal Kombat fatality.
Finish him!
Introducing the cassowary, a species of ratite native to the land down under. And for once, guys, it's not venomous. Can still flatline you though, and I'm going to tell you how. You see, these neon chickens belong to the same family of birds as the emu, and as such share their impressive
Okay, at least it's not venomous. That's good. That's good.
size, coming in at a solid 79 kilos and growing up
That is a big-ass bird.
to 6 feet tall, meaning the short kings in my audience could, in theory, mount these things like a chocobo. But what makes them stick out from emus? Well, you see,
I could see Lily doing that.
the cassowary is basically a spec ops emu, being twice the weight, highly territorial, and most importantly, coming with a combat knife strapped to their foot. That's right, this is a cassowary claw, and it's the reason they can hit you with a fighting game finisher. You see, these claws are a full 5 inches long. And you know what I mean? Honestly, 5 inches, way too big for anything, and especially for something that's going inside me. And if you anger the tactical assault turkey, that is exactly what you're gonna get, as their go-to defense method is to kick you square in the gut with that kitchen knife and attempt
Ow.
to disembowel you.
Yeah.
And I mean, even if the kick doesn't put your insides on the outsides, that kick is still going to send you flying, which can cause some fairly major problems. Problems like the incident that occurred in 2012, where I you not, a cassowary ran up behind a random tourist, hit the heavy attack button, and kicked the guy down a small cliff into the ocean. I mean, luckily he survived, but the fact that I live in a country...
Sorry. That's funny. I don't mean to be rude, but that's funny. The man got Spartan kicked by a bird.
Where at any point
that's
I could be hit with a
hilarious.
sneak attack by a kaiju turkey is
Yes.
terrifying.
Australia lost a
war to emus. But how? How the did
Yeah,
we
how?
lose an armed
How?
conflict with flightless birds? Well, it all started in 1932 when farmers in Western Australia wanted to grow wheat. There was just one
Makes
major
sense.
problem. That's emu territory, and emus really like wheat. And
That also makes sense, you know. Plant wheat and the
coming in
birds
at
will
6
come.
foot tall and 40 kilos in weight, they can eat a lot of it.
Jesus.
So when breeding season came
Yeah,
around,
yeah.
the emus migrated through the farmland, and these poor farmers were overwhelmed by a tyrannid swarm of man-sized poultry, 20,000 emus strong. These feathered tanks then proceeded to
do with that?
completely
How?
steamroll through the fences into the fields and started laying waste to the wheat. The farmers
Okay. Get the guns. Get all the guns.
attempted to fight back the initial wave with rifle fire, but their efforts
Yes.
were, putting
Yes,
it lightly,
smart.
completely useless. This
I
ginormous
assume
L made the farmers pretty bloody angry, so they
Yeah,
gathered
bet it did.
together and went to the government to ask for help. Sir, 20,000 emus have hit the wheat fields. Fuck me, mate. And so the government declared
Yeah, that's an appropriate reaction. Okay, so guys.
the emus enemies of the state and sent in the army to commence the Great Emu War. The entire 7th Heavy Artillery Division was deployed to WA, armed with 2 LMGs, 10,000 rounds, and the sole objective to blast anything with feathers. A little bit excessive for an overgrown turkey if you ask me, and upon their first deployment, the
The math isn't mathing. They have 20,000 emus and 10,000 rounds of ammo. Are they expecting double headshots every time? I don't know. I'm actually kind of confused. Can someone explain to me why they are this underprepared?
army immediately ran into a major problem.
It's the
Emus
army, after
are
all.
fast.
I am speed.
Really f***ing fast, clocking a top speed of 50 kilometers an hour, which meant that once they opened fire, the emus would immediately bolt out of range of their weapons. But they still took
Okay,
a
that
crack
makes
at
sense.
it, and then immediately stopped when both LMGs jammed after only dropping 12 emus. This embarrassment led the army to retreat and rethink
That's
their
hilarious.
plans. So a few weeks later they returned,
Pathetic,
this
but
time
hilarious.
mounting the LMGs on trucks in an attempt to run the birds down. However, this also didn't work.
Were they trying to do drive-bys on the kaiju turkeys?
Because after figuring out that those trucks meant they were about to be turned into a KFC family bucket, the emus started leaving scout birds who would warn
Yep.
the flock of the
course the
approaching
birds are
trucks,
smarter than
which
you.
gave them all enough time to book it before the army even got there. And whenever they did catch the emus, they found out they were kind of... Because emus are mostly
Yeah.
feathers, and there's a lot of places you can hit on them without doing any damage. Meaning it was
Really? They look more muscly than feathery, but, you know, in that footage you could probably... Yeah, you could see all the bounces.
taking around 10 bullets for every one bird. So after a month of blood, sweat, tears, and 10,000 rounds of ammunition, the army managed to bring down 960.
That is approximately 8.3%. No, I'm way off on that. I don't know how much, but it's less than 10%. Like 4%. 4 and a little over a half percent.
The population was 20,000. This was an issue as, unlike America, our defense budget is not a bottomless pit. So the army had wasted all that money to achieve
America!
absolutely fuck all. So the government just kind of built a really long, really shit fence around the farms and called it a day. How the fuck did we lose this? I could have done a better job with a boomerang and a cricket bat. Kangaroos can and will beat you up. That's
I've heard.
right, just because it's not venomous doesn't mean it can't knock you on your ass. And Australia's most iconic marsupial can do just that. Because they are
More reasons to
way
avoid
bigger
this
than you think they are.
hellish
With our
continent.
biggest species of roo coming in at a ridiculous 2.8 meters in length. And with the iconic hop, they've got a vertical jump of 3 meters. I mean, honestly, with a stat spread like that, they
Okay.
don't belong in the outback, they belong on a fucking NBA court.
Yeah, pretty much.
As if that wasn't enough, they're
Get this
also
man an
built
NBA
like
contract.
tanks, weighing in at a full 90 kilos of roid-raging rabbit muscle, and being able to move
Holy
way
crap.
faster than anything that heavy has any right to, pegging the speedo at a max of 70k an hour. Meaning if you make them angry,
45
a
miles an
juiced
hour.
up rat the size of a
Jesus.
small car is going to run your ass down and beat the f***ing brakes off you. And I'm not kidding when I say they really will rock your shit, because roos are professional kickboxers, with males routinely fighting
yeah.
MMA to win female attention. When they fight, kangaroos will lean back
damn.
on their tails as a stabilizer and immediately start scratching and kicking the ever-loving shit out of one another. And those kicks have enough force to crack bone. And as if getting
Ow.
drop-kicked by a muscled marsupial wasn't bad enough, they also for some reason have the same bite force as a grizzly bear. Because why not? Now, even
I'm sorry. The bipedal kick dog has the same bite force as a bucking grizzly? No, I'm not going to Australia. No.
with all of this, there are still animals stupid enough to view a roo as lunch. Which brings me to the most terrifying thing that they do. When threatened, kangaroos will hop into a body of water and wait for whatever is chasing them to follow them in. Once the predator enters the water, the kangaroo will wrap its arms around their neck and just straight up drown them. What the man? I share a country with
That's a traumatizing fact. I would rather have venom.
psychopathic tren rats.
Yeah.
Touching this plant will put you in the hospital.
I'm dying.
This is the
Again,
Gimpy Gimpy
good
plant,
thing
a
I'm an
piece of
android.
foliage native to the land down under. And surprising no one, not only is the thing venomous, it is in fact the most painful plant on the planet. Because yeah, no, of course, man, even the fucking leaves down here have a problem with me. Growing in the rainforests of northern
course.
Queensland, these hell bushes are covered in tiny
course.
hairs that upon closer inspection aren't hairs at all and are actually thousands of hypodermic needles.
Why, nature? Why?
waiting to stab you and break off inside your skin if you so much as brush them. Once inside you, these needles will inject you with, I am not kidding, neurotoxin and cause absolutely excruciating
Why does a plant have neurotoxin? What evolutionary reason?
pain. I mean, like comedic levels of pain. With one person describing it as being covered in hot acid and electrocuted, and another woman saying that it was straight up more painful than childbirth and she'd given birth 4 times. And the fucked up part is, the
Ow. Ow.
neurotoxin isn't even lethal. So this spiteful cunt of a plant is hurting you purely for the love of the game. Mind you,
Oh,
there
that's
are
just
reports
mean.
of people saying getting stung by this thing is actually worse than being put in the ground. This is because Groot's little hellspawn cousin here can continue hurting you for literal years after being
Why?
stung. This is because those thousands of little hypodermic
purpose?
needles are actually made out of silicon, meaning your body can't break them down. And with how thin they are, your skin will usually
doesn't
close up
explain
over the
the
top of
purpose
them,
for that,
meaning that
though.
these neurotoxin emitting slivers can sit inside your skin for literal years, releasing more neurotoxin any time that they're moved or disturbed. This constant, chronic, agonizing pain is so unbelievably bad that there have even been records of, trying not to get banned here, people Alt F4ing existence to make it stop. This particular incident came from a man who accidentally used one of the plant leaves as toilet
No.
paper. I don't think
Oh,
it gets
God,
much
no.
worse than neurotoxin to the nuts. This bird
Yeah. Ow.
has to rearrange its organs and skeleton just to lay an egg. This cute little guy is the kiwi bird, a species of ratite native to New Zealand this time, and the absolute poster child
Oh, cool. We're not in Australia anymore.
for getting cucked by evolution. You see, this walking featherball is actually directly related to the
I mean,
emu,
he's so
ostrich, and
adorable.
cassowary, being a member of the same family of flightless birds. However,
I'm sorry, how is that adorable little thing related to those evil kaiju chickens?
there is a problem. You see, the rest of the Kiwis' bloodline actually looked up a build guide before picking their stat spread, and as such made
makes
sure
sense.
to trade the whole flying thing for something useful. With all of his
Yeah.
cousins specking into speed, size, and some kind of offensive capability.
Exactly.
So that leaves the question, what did the Kiwi pick to make up for not flying? Absolutely f***ing nothing. Kiwis are tiny in comparison to their relatives, coming in at only 4 kilos in weight and 50 centimeters tall. This is
That
because
is-
Kiwis evolved largely on an
Yeah.
island with no natural predators, so they downsized and traded out the knife
Adorable.
feet and bloodlust for just being a little guy with a good attitude,
Oh, he's
which
so adorable.
honestly worked pretty well for them. Until the British did British things, and now they have to deal with cats
course.
and dogs trying to eat them. And consider
It's always the British. Always.
Considering this build was not designed for PvP, they have been clapped so hard by invasive species that they
Makes
are
sense,
now
yeah.
unfortunately an endangered
As the
animal.
British.
But getting shafted by the British is just the beginning of the generational violation of the Kiwi, because these poor feathered fruits
Yeah.
can't even reproduce without getting f***ed over. You see, the Kiwi bird's
mean?
cousins are famous for laying huge eggs. I'm talking hit your protein macros in one meal-sized eggs.
That's a
And you
massive
would
egg.
think that is because they are large. And you would be wrong, because their vertically challenged cousins have to lay eggs the same size. A kiwi bird lays eggs 20% the size of their body.
What
With the
the
egg being so
hell?
bloody large, it rearranges their internal organs and stretches their
Why?
rib cage just to be able to hold the thing. For reference, that is
Why?
like a human giving birth to a 15-kilo child. That's not a bun in the oven anymore.
Yeah, no, that's not a bun in the oven that's giving birth to a brisket.
That's a whole f***ing bakery. I ate lunch with a wild lizard. You see, before I made the videos, I worked as a handyman, and one day a client asked me
Oh,
to do
this
some
one's
brush
about his
cutting
life,
because their
okay.
lawn was, putting it lightly, completely f***ed. So I'm taming a
about
miniaturized
right for
version of the
Australia.
Amazon jungle, and I see something that nearly gives me a heart attack. A big lump of scales slithering through the brush about
Oh no. We know where. Oh no.
2 steps
is
ahead of me.
Australia.
Being Australian, I immediately assumed it was a snake, which is a problem, because the only two snakes in my home state are highly venomous and extremely aggressive. So I immediately stopped what I was doing, backed the up, and got ready to call in the snake catcher to relocate the angry hospital noodle.
Help me.
Yeah, because what
However,
else are you
while
gonna
dialing
do?
the number, I noticed something. It was kind of too fat to be a snake, and it hadn't tried to eat me yet. So, being the poster child for why women live longer than men, I waddled back over for a closer look, and I found this little guy. This is a blue-tongue lizard, and they're
Oh, he's
actually pretty cool. Native to Australia,
adorable.
these bad boys are basically a
That thing is adorable. I'm not trying to risk it.
tubby skink, but as the
not
name
being
suggests, they have a bright blue
a
neon
snake, but
tongue.
yes,
now, I
that's
couldn't just leave this
adorable.
distinguished gentleman in harm's way, so I yoinked him and began looking for a place to relocate him away from where I was working. However, during the relocation process, this cute little man proceeded to cuddle up to my shirt and fall asleep, and did not particularly appreciate me trying to move him from his resting place. So, considering it was the middle of the day, I just said, fuck it, called a lunch break, and proceeded to sit in the sun eating a chicken sandwich while Godzilla's little cousin took a nap on my shirt. He sat with me for my entire 30-minute lunch break without me holding him. However,
Jesus.
unfortunately, I was only halfway through my workday, so after I wrapped up lunch, I had to say goodbye. I very delicately removed my new scaled friend from my shirt and released him back into the wild.
Alrighty, big fella.
As one does.
Off you go. Back into the bushes. There you go. See you, friend.
Good man, MoreParz.
I
Good
think
man.
this incident legally qualifies me as the first Australian Disney princess.
I vote for that, yeah. Okay, so that was MoreParz, and from what I learned in that video, I'm not going to Australia, and I'm not allowing Lily and Sprocket to go to Australia either. Yeah, no. We're staying here in the workshop and doing workshop things. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a great day. Bye!